What's up, everybody? It's Adam from Team Sorcery here, coming at you today with Twilight Wanderer spoiler videos. This is our first round of it. Expect more videos coming from the Twilight Wanderer, more matches from us. We're definitely going to get a box opening of this set. I'm also talking to the actual store owner / our store leader of Team Sorcery to get an interview with him. That way, you understand the point of the name of Team Sorcery and just like what we do, what Team Sorcery is all about, and what the sorcery in Fredericksburg, Virginia is all about. So definitely look forward to that. That being said, I'm going to get into our first card being spoiled, and the first one is the fourth J Ruler form of Alice, and it is Alice, the girl in the lake. This is on her ruler side. She is a light ruler. Her subtype is Wanderer. So a new interesting thing for this set is that instead of Judgment rulers or J rulers saying J activate, it says Judgment, and then it has whatever cost it is. So that's something I really feel like it's necessary, because everyone was like, what does the J in J activate stands for? Now you understand. Performing Judgment also refers back to the comprehensive rules, so it's easier to look up, and it's just fantastic. So her performing Judgment is 8 void. And afterwards, it says you may pay 1 void less to play this ability for each fairy you control. So if you control a very big board state of fairy creatures, it obviously costs less. If you can control exactly 8, I'm guessing she costs 0. So they're definitely something to look forward to. We are going over some fairies today for any of you Magic players who enjoy Una decks or just decks that run off of Bitter Blossom, etc., etc. So getting into her J Ruler side, she goes from Alice, the girl in the lake, to Alice, fairy queen. On her J Ruler side, she is a light J Ruler, still the exact same. She is a queen / fairy for her subtype. Her attack and defense are not both 900. She has flying. Whenever she enters the field, you may recover all fairies, or it's not you recover all fairies you control. Then her god art is Remnants of Utopia, where you pay 2 light, J / resonates you control get +2/+2. Period. So specifically, that gives us one of the first abilities for J rulers, I believe, here in the States. That's a entire game thing. Or it may want to be one of the only cards here in the States that gives us an effect that lasts until the end of game. So I feel like we make it something similar to emblems, like how Magic has it, just so we can keep up with board state and board knowledge. But I really do like that. It's a very big boost for all the fairies and just all the low drops you can run in the deck. So I'll also be giving like a little like deck idea that I've come up with all these cards, but that's for another. That's for near the end of the video. So the second part of her god art is that you search your main deck for a card named Excalibur, the Spirit's God Sword. You put it into your field, then you shuffle your main deck. You can only play the god art once per game. So perform god art for 2 light, give everything a little bit of a pump, and then you can put your regalia into play, which when I get to the regalia, you'll understand how powerful this is. But I really like her. I feel like she has a lot of potential. Yeah. Next up, we have Excalibur, the God Sword. It is a 2-drop regalia. So we finally, I'm hoping and guessing we're leaning away from having all the 0-drop regalias. That way we actually have to work to play our regalias. But this one's a really good one to spoil, at least right now. It's your J Ruler gains +1/+1 for each resonator you control. So you'll perform God Art, bring this out. Your J resonators are already going to get +2/+2. So her by herself, she's already going to get she's already going to be an 11/11. If you J activated her for 4, she's gonna be a 15/15. If you J activated her for 0, she will be a 19/19, and any number difference in between. This also continues to decrease, and increase and decrease compared to your board state. So that's something to keep track of, but it's a very good card. I think it's extremely powerful just by that one effect, but we still got 2 more effects we have to go over. So it has a rest produce light, fire, water, wind, or darkness. Spend these only to play fairy resonators. So it's a mana rock for fairies. So it will be pretty good in the idea that I have. But I feel like it's a debatably better Horn of the Sacred Beast for fairies. So I like it a lot. It's pretty good. And then the last effect is banish this card. Your J Ruler gains imperishable until the end of turn. So it has the one effect that is shared from the original Excalibur, where you can give your J Ruler imperishable. It's also a mana rock, and it can boost your J Ruler, making it ridiculously big. So I like the card a lot. It's very good. So we'll go into the next one. Next up, we have the Wind Sprite. We're getting into the fairies now. So it's a 1-drop, 200/200 fairy resonator. It's 1 wind to cast it, and it has rest, produce a light. So for you Magic players, it's essentially Avacyn's Pilgrim. For those of you who played the standard format where Avacyn's Pilgrim was legal, it was an amazing card. Saw tons of play in a lot of junk decks, a lot of green-white decks. Just anything that really made green-white a thing. It's extremely good in. If this card does not see play in the Alice deck that I have an ID for, because I'm going to keep talking about it the entire video apparently, I feel like that this card will see play in Vlad, just for like another mana dork that's not Elvish Priest, that also gives Vlad the option to go into like Dreams of Juliet, or just like good white cards or light cards that they can just utilize. So it's a very good card. That's our green fairy that we got spoiled. Our fire fairy is so far one of the best ones I think got spoiled today. It's a 1-drop fire, 1-drop fire fairy. Attack is 200, defense is 300. It has flying, swiftness, and it has tap. This card deals 100 damage to target resonator for each fairy you control. So if you have an extreme amount of board state, you tap it and you can shoot for pretty decent numbers depending on board state. The card can die to Thunder, can die to Demon Flames. It can't die to Crime and Punishment, but I feel like you really wouldn't Crime and Punishment this card. But just the fact that it's a 1-drop Flying Swiftness card is really good. It'll be very good against... it'll be a good red way out to anything that's running, or that's continued running Baja Blast, or at least attempt to with Deathsight being a card. But it'll be, because if you're splashing red in the deck, you can run this now instead of the 1-drop blue card from Vingolf, or other like Rooks for other colors. So it gives red a little way to fend off that, but Baja Blast can also run this card. So it's pretty good. I think this card should have been made a while ago. Like, this card's so good. Like, I don't think I can emphasize enough how much I love this card. Next up, we have our light fairy that's being spoiled. It is the Fairy of the Lake. It is a 2-drop, 1 light, 1 void fairy, obviously, and it has and its attack and defense are 5/5, and it has flying. So it's pretty good for 2 mana. It's a debatably better Hanzo Hattori that doesn't draw, but it's pretty good. I'm noticing that like a lot of these things have flying, so the Heavenly Garden and Armala would be pretty good for this deck. So just for like a really good boost that you could run, I feel like that might be a little relevant, but that's a whole nother story. If anyone saw any of the spoilers for the past, Atlas Cluster, everyone knows that I love that card and like the synergy it has with anything with flying, Gwybers, or the Angel, or the entire Angel, so bear with me, I'm terribly sorry about that. Our last fairy that we're going to go over is the Water Sprite. It is a 1-drop water fairy, 2/3. Has flying, and whenever it enters the field, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a fairy card, you put it into play. Or no, not into play, you put it into your hand. Terribly sorry about that. But this card is really good. It can net you advantage after you stack your deck. I'll go over how you would stack your deck, or like your ideal stacking deck and like ideal place with this card, but it's just phenomenal. Like, it's just a really good card. Especially for fairies. So our last one is the Grand Cross. It is a spell chant that costs 2 light. It is remove target addition or target resonator from the game whose attack is the greater amount on the board. So it's, or at least how I'm reading that part, it's whatever's the biggest thing, you can remove it from the game for 2. And then it has a second thing is, as long as your J ruler is Alice the Fairy Queen, her God Art costs 2 light less until the end of turn. So this card, it's okay. You still have to technically pay 2 light in order to use her God Art. But I mean, I guess your ideal play would be swing with all the fairies, or no, Grand Cross, something big away. Swing with all your fairies. J activate. Pay God Art for free, or J activate, recover all your fairies, pay God Art for free, bring out your Excalibur, and then just everything's bigger, swing again, just keep going. So, pretty good. So, my deck idea for these fairies is that, or at least for this deck, it'll be light with a splash of water. You'd be running things like Percival's and Cheshires, and just really good like light and water cards. You would have access to things, or like just like interesting combos. So you can go like Percival, reveal your top 5. If Excalibur's in one of your top 5, you add it to hand, pass your turn. On your turn, pay 2, play Excalibur, tap Excalibur, make a mana, or not make a mana dork, but play one of the 1-drop fairies, since we have 3 currently out right now. So that's a pretty powerful combo. But that's on turn 2. So it's a little slow compared to extremely aggressive decks, but it's not the worst thing. Another combo is you can Cheshire, draw 2, stack a fairy, play Water Sprite afterwards. You get a flying 2/3 in the Water Sprite, and then you reveal, oh, it's a fairy. You add it back, you draw it to your hand, and you never really go minus from your Cheshire play, which is always a fantastic combo to do. Those are really like the main things I could see. There's also synergy with Heavenly Garden of Ramallah, like I mentioned. So definitely things to pay attention about and just keep an eye out for. If any of you watched the Twilight Wanderer spoiler video, there's one in Japanese and one in American, or one in English now, and it said, or it didn't say it when it was spoiling the fairies originally after it showed Alice. We only got, or in the image there were only the Fairy of the Lake was in the bottom left-hand corner, I believe, and then there were still 3 other fairies that have not been spoiled yet. So it's possible that we'll either get dual-colored fairies, the Darkness Fairy that everyone's been trying to figure out what it will do, or just more fairies that you could run in the deck that'll still be able to be cast with Excalibur. So those are my thoughts about this right now. I feel like a fairy deck is definitely coming. This deck also is extremely not that high of rarity, because Grand Cross is a rare. All these fairies, or the sprites, whatever you want to call them, they're all commons. Your Excalibur is a rare, and then your J Ruler is obviously a Judgment rare. So it's pretty good when it comes to not breaking your wallet. I feel like it would be a really good budget deck that can really surprise people with plays. You can obviously make it cost a little bit more if you're taking my route, where you run Percival's and Cheshires and Heavenly Gardens of Mamala, but that's a whole nother story, or just a whole nother thing. So like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Let me know what you guys think about all these new cards, what type of crazy things you're thinking about running these in, or just like your ideal thoughts about it. I think that, I want to say that this deck will see play, but I think it'll be at the same level of Presea. So it may see play here and there. There may be 1 or 2 good builds with it, but it's really just how the deck is piloted and just all the crazy things. So definitely know what you guys think. If you think that these cards will be good, if you think the cards will be bad, let me know in the description below. Expect more videos just for spoilers of the Twilight Wanderer. This is Adam from Team Sorcery, signing out. Have a good day.